What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. I wanted to come back for a part two as Jeffree Star gets called out and he is stunned. He gets called out by Amazing Lucas for his racist past. So it's not shocking that Jeffree Star is defending Charlie Kirk at all. So let's go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and get into it before we play the intro, you guys. And trust me, this whole last part of this video is amazing because they get called out talking about Riley Gaines, Jillian Michaels, Piers Morgan himself, and Jeffree Star for the hypocrisy. And I love it. Let's get to it. All right, you guys. So this is where they bring on Jeffree Star. So here we go.
I guess now, Jeffree Star, who's a cosmetics influencer. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, Jeffree. You've gone viral. You've gone viral this week for this TikTok live.
He encouraged everyone to speak about their beliefs, whether he believed them or not. Am I a Republican? No, I'm a person. Because I'm standing up for someone that passed away, I'm now being called names in the chat. This is what's wrong with a lot of you people. You will never get far in life. You are sick in the head. Someone just said they're unsubscribing from me. Thank God, please. Because if you believe in they and thems, you're part of the problem. If you're so stupid enough to go against science, please unfollow me.
Jeffree,
what did that have to do with anything?
What happened to you as a consequence of that going viral?
So about 100,000 people have unfollowed me this week for speaking about Charlie, the entire thing. I can't believe so many people in America are cheering and praising his death. It's honestly disgusting. So while I was live streaming, I found out about what happened in real time, and it was so horrifying and devastating. I've followed him for a few years. Do I agree with everything he's ever said? Of course I don't. But I loved a lot of what he said, and it resonates with me.
You know, I always wonder, what part do they agree with? They never tell us what they agree with. They always tell us like, I didn't agree with everything. There were some things I agree with. Well, what part did you agree with? Like, let me know.
With me. But the good news is hundreds of thousands of more people have followed me and they're on the exact same page. So I don't care about the following. It's not about that. I just had to speak my mind.
Have you been surprised, shocked, depressed by the reaction? I mean, I'm genuinely stunned. I thought I'd seen everything in the news game going back 40 years. But to see the outpouring of gleeful celebration of a young man's murder for expressing his opinions, and a young man who would deliberately go in.
Again, were people not taking pictures with George Zimmerman of him signing Skittles, making fun of Trayvon Martin? We can go down this road if they want to.
Into the opposition territory, college campuses, and get people to line up and say, come on, argue with me in a respectful way. The idea that he gets murdered for doing that all the time seemed particularly perverse to me. Were you? Exactly. How did you feel about it?
I was honestly horrified because I'm someone that's always been outspoken. I love the truth. And for some reason, people are afraid of the truth. I've been told all week, he would have hated someone like you. No, he would have respected me because I'm my own person and I know how to have my own thoughts. So when I saw it in real time, I was completely devastated. I can't believe someone that has an opinion is now dead. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Brian, I mean,
let me say this. What's so crazy is that somebody like Jeffree Star in our heteronormative world that we live in, right? Me and you, or us in, this aspect of the world, we would look at a Jeffree Star and be like, oh, well, is that a trans? Like, Jeffree Star literally hates the whole they, them, and all this other stuff. But literally, we would look at you and be all like, oh, that person is trans. And especially if you guys don't know, Jeffree Star has had like 3 to 4, 5 different faces. Like, this isn't Jeffree Star's original face. Like, Jeffree Star literally still looks like an alien, but even worse back in the day. My sister is like a makeup enthusiast, so she already put me up on game on Jeffree Star and his racism and stuff like that. So this doesn't surprise me. But again, back to my point, like someone in our world, if we looked at Jeffree Star, seen Jeffree Star on the street, we'd be like, is that the trans? You know, like we wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's just a feminine man who likes makeup or something like that. Like you put on the wigs, the nails, everything. Like you do everything as far as being a caricature of a woman, but yet you have a problem with what everybody would say you are, you know? And granted, I'm not saying that a man can't be feminine, but you know, like, let's be honest about it. The only reason why you're able to do that is because of trans people. If you, the hypocrisy, I guess it's like, you know, Jeffree likes being the token, which we'll get to that later.
When you hear that, do you find it disgusting, the reaction that Jeffree's had?
Yeah, absolutely. 150%. I think anybody who celebrates Charlie Kirk's death is absolutely disgusting. And I applaud you for, you know, doing the right thing and being a good human being and saying this is horrible. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. I feel for his kids and his family. Doesn't mean we have to agree with everything Charlie Kirk stood for, which obviously I don't. But for the people that are attacking you on social media, I mean, I've gotten death threats as well. It's despicable, and I feel for you. We should be able to have a respectful dialogue about.
I had someone say, oh, I'm looking at your social media right now. Okay. I make a career off of social media, so thank you.
Charlie Kirk, and I would certainly welcome that with Jillian, and I have some questions for her if we have the time.
Well, ask her now.
Okay. Well, Jillian, hi, Jillian. I agree with you. I think respectful conversation and political discourse is good. It's one thing I have in common with Charlie Kirk. Here's what I would say, ask you about. The day Paul Pelosi was bludgeoned with a hammer, the day after that, Charlie Kirk went on his podcast. He made jokes about it. And on his show, he asked his listeners to donate to the person who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. Are you willing to admit that that's also wrong? Because Charlie Kirk did that on his show.
If Charlie did that, I 100% agree with you. I haven't seen that. A lot of the stuff that I have seen and experienced with Charlie, he advocates consistently against violence. So if he did that, I am in 100% agreement with you. And in fact, came prepared today to talk about.
What's amazing is that they only seen the good stuff that Charlie has done. Like anything bad, especially these clips, because mind you, after he passed, all the clips of him saying racist, hateful things have resurfaced, right? But somehow they've never seen it like, oh my God, like that's not the person I knew. And so like, it's all online. How did you not know?
This kind of violence and othering on both sides. And I could talk about I believe it was 2016 when Donald Trump talked about people who believe in the Second Amendment going out and taking care of some of these politicians who didn't agree with him, because I think the othering and the demonization and the labeling is devastating our culture, and it is literally getting people killed. So if Charlie did that, then I agree with you on that. I'm unfamiliar with it. I'd have to watch it myself.
Right. So, Jillian, I appreciate you giving me that answer. But he also said that Michelle Obama and Joy Reid don't have the processing brain power to be taken seriously. He called gay people destructive. He said Taylor Swift should submit to her husband. He also said that he blamed Jewish money for ruining America. Again, let me preface this by saying,
I watched a lot of that stuff.
I hate the death of God's and those fellows.
I watched a lot of that stuff, and that's mischaracterized. And when he was talking about DEI, it actually is. And I'm more than happy to send you numerous videos where Charlie talks about the.
Here we go with the context thing. Like, oh, it's taken out of context. And I've been getting that, you know, this last week or so about the whole, oh, you guys are taking everything out of context. Even when you put it in the context, it's still some bullshit. I'm just going to tell you that.
Conservative movement, and how there is absolutely room for people who are gay, and goes on to admonish somebody who says that there are not. He talks about Dave Rubin. He talks about Peter Thiel. Okay.
This is the
I'm giving you
schizophrenia
the
that I'm
exact
talking
words
about.
out of his mouth. I happen
is
to be
literally-
a gay woman. I am married
Jillian, just let me respond.
You don't want
10
the
seconds.
truth. Okay.
Jillian. No, Jillian, I just want 10 seconds respectfully. Thank you. You can, I'm sure that Charlie Kirk has said a lot of nice things about a lot of people, but I'm sure he said a lot of nice things about people, but that doesn't take away the bad things that he said also. I played those videos on my show yesterday. I didn't take them out of context. These are
okay.
I didn't take them out of context. Okay, so explain to me when Charlie Kirk says that blacks were better off in the 1940s and that the Civil Rights
I
Act
actually
should not
can
have been
explain
passed.
that in detail. I can explain that in detail. There's an hour and 22-minute long podcast where he dives into
what the hell is a detail? It's detail.
It. And what he goes on to talk about is that the intentions of the Civil Rights Act were fantastic. The desire for equal opportunity, but that because it was so broad and so vague, it made room for things like demanding equal outcomes. He cites a case where teachers in New York have to take a basic standardized test, okay? And this started in the 1980s and the 1990s. Unfortunately, Black and Hispanic teachers didn't pass at the same rate that whites and Asians did. Now, instead of looking at why is this happening, where is the disparity, how can we fix this, what's broken with the system, years later, New York as a state was sued because these teachers failed at disproportionate rates and had to pay $1 billion. He's turning around saying, this is crazy. This is insane. I happen to agree. That's crazy. And it doesn't fix what's actually broken.
The Civil Rights
He
Act
talks
should have
about
been
how
passed,
This is the point. Using outlier cases to paint a broad spectrum of a group of people.
He outright says that first of all, Charlie doesn't even believe in race. He goes,
So what she's saying, I need that in context about the whole teacher thing, because as I understand, well, I'll say this, because going to school, I actually went to school in the suburbs, but they would always do the statistics of like who did the best. It was either the Asian kids or the white kids, and then everybody else kind of fell under and then Black and Hispanics were always last. And now we can talk about the history of the disparity with education and the way that our system is ran, because in poorer neighborhoods, the education is not that great, where when you go to somewhere in an affluent area, the education is better. So we can talk about the history of those things and why. But with the whole teacher suit, I need that in context. You just can't say that. But either way, what does that have to do with the 1940s? The 1940s when they had Jim Crow, the 1940s when they literally, Black people migrated out of the South or was trying to migrate out the South for a better life because there were other jobs and opportunities and they can escape all that racism. Are you not, people were literally lynched and beaten, and I don't know what was so great about the 1940s. Yeah, the Black family was together, but that was out of fear because all they had was each other. Let's put it into context, Jillian.
On to talk about how it's a social construct. He goes on to praise Martin Luther King's position that we shouldn't judge men on the color of their skin, but on the quality
You mean the same
of their
Martin Luther King who he vilified?
Do you know what he
What are we
vilified him
talking
over?
about? This
Can
is
I,
the
can I,
hypocrisy
let me
I'm
answer
talking
you. Let me answer you. Let me answer you. Actually.
Also, is this the same
What he
Jeffree Star that said the
criticized-
N-word
Let me
and called Black women
answer you.
nappy-headed?
You don't want the
I know
answer.
this can't be the same Jeffree Star.
Let me answer you.
I've never said
about
that.
MLK.
Please stop lying.
You don't.
We literally
want
have it on
the
video.
That's all they've
answer.
done this whole
His
show.
top
Jeffree.
criticism of MLK.
He
this
literally
is
just
actually
made
the most
that up.
interesting. Oh my God.
Google it.
His top.
I hear what you're
criticism
saying,
of
Jillian.
MLK.
I absolutely understand what you're saying.
You
and I
don't.
would
Let
argue that
me
it's
tell you
admissible.
his top criticism. His top criticism.
How are you
is
going
that
to tell
he's
me
the
what
first-
he said? We've seen what he said. I'm very familiar
Clearly
with
you
Charlie Kirk. I was a part of Turning.
Clearly
I
you
was literally a
haven't.
part of Turning Point USA at one
Clearly-
point. So I'm very familiar
Okay,
with it.
So tell me
The
what
problem
were
is
his
the
top.
The
what were his top
scrutiny that
criticisms?
the issue that I have is that the
You will
scrutiny
not
that
let
you're
me
levying.
say it. Because it's totally antithetical to your narrative.
It's not about antithetical. It's about as far as fact checking.
Then let me say
fact check anything that he said?
I listened to it.
Did you fact check anything that he said? I didn't ask that. I asked, did you fact check anything that he said?
Every
Piers, can this like be muted?
Yeah, I don't.
So I want to say something real quick. So I know Lucas, he had mentioned on his channel, like there's a delay. So this is why it always seems like they're talking over each other. Also, Don Lemon mentioned, and we're going to get to that video in a different one, but that there's a delay. So it's all like when Piers says something, there's like a 10-second delay. And so that's why it seems like they're always over talking, because I'm all like, why are they always over talk on this show? That's why there's a delay.
I don't really know what we're getting to, because every time she tries to explain to you, Lucas, you just
apologies.
Talk over
Go
her.
ahead, by all means.
Well, no,
tell me your perspective of what
you don't seem to understand the concept of a debate. Riley,
Jillian, I'm here to listen to Jillian, and I'm trying to have a respectful conversation with her. But Jillian, do you understand why there are a lot of people out there that are very
Brian? There's nothing respectful about
what did I say that was disrespectful? What did I say that was disrespectful to you? What did I say that was disrespectful?
You want to come from my swimming abilities is crazy. That is crazy.
I did not come.
Okay.
The fact. Okay, you don't understand why I said that, and I'm going to try to explain it to you again. Yeah. The reason why people know who you are is not because of your swimming. I'm sure you were a great swimmer.
Brian,
it's because you're on TV attacking transgenders.
I did not want to be doing this. This is not where I want to be.
You don't accept money for making speeches?
Okay. Like,
you don't accept money to make speeches?
So for those of you who don't know, Riley Gaines was the one that complained about Leah Thompson, the transgender woman who got 5th in the race. Now, the thing is that they did a whole podium thing for Leah, for publicity, being the trans woman that got 5th place or whatever. Also, Riley tied for 5th place and didn't get any celebration. But Riley and Leah are both losers. They didn't come in 1st, 2nd, nor 3rd. Like, we don't even know the people the person who won the race. We don't even know their name, but we know Riley Gaines because she used that as momentum to get into this whole right-winger space and has made a career off of it. I guess you could say that's strategic, right? But I just want to let you know, Leah Thomas and Riley Gaines were both losers. They weren't winners at all.
But it's people like you,
do you know how much money it costs
that continue to give me a platform. Brian? It's not even the words that I'm saying; it's the words that you're saying that give people like me.
So somebody forced you.
Common sense.
All right, understood.
People.
I do find Brian. I do find your line of attack on Riley utterly inexplicable, because she did not.
I disagree.
She did not create the situation. She lost a place in the top race because somebody thought it was a good idea for a 6'3" male to compete in her race.
I don't feel that way.
That's what started this.
I want
to ask one thing of Jeffree before we finish this. Jeffree, there was an allegation from Lucas there that you've used the N-word. Do you want to respond to that? I think it's fair that you respond.
I've never called a black person that. That's been debunked. And the second thing you said, I've never said before. So please stop lying.
Have video evidence of it.
It's just the same.
But I think the point that I want to make
The funny part about that is that Jeffree Star literally has a history of racism. And you can go on YouTube, you can go on or X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But there's actually a Reddit page that I found where this girl basically was all like, everybody has been saying all these allegations against Jeffree Star, and people keep asking for quote unquote proof. They need the proof in order to believe it. And so she literally lays out here all the accusations with the links. And so what I'm going to do is actually post this in the description of the video. So boom, there you have it. But like I said, my sister is a makeup enthusiast, so she told me everything. So I knew about the calling black women rats and gorillas and the whole N-word video. Now, he didn't necessarily say it to a black person. I think it was like a Latino person that he said it to. But either way, he has said the N-word multiple different times. So it's all like, come on now. Like, are you playing games with us? Like, you're on video saying it. And even ask someone to beat up that N-word. Like, on BET.com, they even have an article showing all of Jeffree Star's comments and everything like that too as well. So again, I'm gonna post this Reddit in the description of the video so you guys have it there. He's a liar.
Is the hypocrisy of the Republicans. Well, I think that the hypocrisy of the Republican, when it comes to individuals like Jeffree, when we have a party that's for marriage between a man and a woman, but then they celebrate, or in some cases deride, what happened with David Rubin and his marriage. I think it's hypocritical when it comes to Riley Gaines. I think it's hypocritical when it comes to Riley Gaines. I'm talking about trans as Fox News hires Caitlyn Jenner. As we have Blair White and how
Caitlyn
the right
Jenner's a friend of mine. So what's your
Blair
point?
White as she.
I was with Dave Rubin last week.
Is Caitlyn Jenner a man? Riley Gaines, is Caitlyn Jenner a man?
Yes. And I tell Caitlyn that he's a man. I tell Caitlyn I will call you by Caitlyn. I will not use she, her pronouns.
This
and
is
guess
what I'm talking about as far as using.
I don't need you to use she, her pronouns when talking about me. Because I don't need you to affirm me.
Whether it's trans
I do what I
tokens,
do because I'm affirming myself. I don't need someone else to affirm the life that I live.
How
That's
do you
what Caitlyn
affirm
says
yourself?
to me.
How do you talk about as far as the trans issue, as far as men going to the women's bathroom while befriending someone who is literally a part of that problem?
I can be
let me ask you, Riley,
cordial
are
with
kids born
someone
trans?
and still acknowledge a
trans,
problem. That is a foreign concept to
Riley,
you
are kids
and Brian,
born trans?
clearly.
So, Lucas is calling out how you guys will have a black person, a trans person, whatever, somebody from a marginalized group, and literally they're just used as tokens. You don't even respect who they are. Like, whether or not you agree with Caitlyn, I would definitely call Caitlyn she, her pronouns, because that's what you want to be called. It's all about respect. At the end of the day, you don't have to like it, but I'm going to respect you. I'm not going to be like, you a man. Well, Caitlyn, at the end of the day, I really don't care. But if Caitlyn love it, if she like it, I love it. Like, if you like being called a man and being reminded that you was born a man, then hey, it is what it is. But any other trans person, I'm going to have the respect and decency to use she, her pronouns, or he, him, because let's not forget there's trans men out there too. And again, Jeffree Star is everything that the Republican Party, this Christian, Christian values and everything. Jeffree Star is not the example of that. And so it's all like, how do you have these people like the Dave Rubins and Caitlyn and Blair White, and they're again, they are basically an abomination. Like, they're not what represents your party, but you use them as a token to go out there and say negative things, because you'll see the Jeffree Star, the Caitlyn Jenner saying things about trans people, and it's all like, well, what are y'all? But hey, it is what it is. But I wanted to go ahead and put context to that whole New York case. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right here. Hold on. All right. Let's go ahead and look at this. So I asked, did the state of New York get sued by teachers for failed tests? And it says, yes, New York City and New York State Education Department were sued in a class action lawsuit filed in 1996 by Black and Hispanic teachers who allege racial discrimination by a mandatory teacher licensing test that disproportionately failed minority test takers. This resulted in a multi-billion-dollar settlement for the affected teachers who had faced demotion or firing for failing the test, which was found to be a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Now, it says lawsuit and background. The lawsuit, which began in 1996, claimed the teacher licensing test required for public school teachers from 1990 to 2014 was racially biased. Then the impact evidence showed that white test takers had significantly higher pass rates, over 90% compared to Black, fewer than 62, and Latino 55% test takers, which indicated a discriminatory effect. Teachers in the class action lawsuit argued the test violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Court ruling. In 2012, a federal court ruled that the licensing exam, that's what it was called, violated Title VII because it was not adequately job related. So it seemed like it had nothing to do with the job, but they made him take the test. It said settlement, New York City agreed to the settlement of approximately 1.8 billion. Okay, compensation, teachers who were demoted or fired since 1995 due to failing the exam were eligible for damages, with many having already received substantial payments. So what it seemed like, and again, I'll look at the history of it later, that they were all of a sudden given this test between the year of 1990 to 2014, and basically all the teachers who failed got fired. But this wasn't a requirement for their job. So this is why they ended up winning. So it is what it is. But again, that was something that was totally taken out of context to make it seem like, oh yeah, these people are crying and complaining for no reason, but they can't even pass the test. Well, they didn't have to pass the test because it was not even job related. Like, who gets a test like in the middle of them working to figure out if they're adequate for a job? Like, huh? That's, yeah, definitely discriminatory. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you thought about the whole video. I love that Jeffree Star was like stunned and surprised when he got called out for his racism. Amazing Lucas, he totally controlled the panel. I love, you know, the first video that I did and then the second one, because he was right for calling out the tokenism that the right does. And Jillian Michaels trying to put context to what Charlie Kirk said. Jillian Michaels doesn't even know what she's talking about. She literally just watches another right-winger or watches Fox News on repeat and just regurgitates what they say, but she actually doesn't know what she's talking about, as we know. But anyway, you guys, I love this show. Please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want more videos like this. Deuces, everybody. We out.